Mills and Swoon, Daily Number 2, The Caged Bird and the Stable Boy by Sania Delamare. Lady Isolde Ravenshaw entered the stables. She was a reluctant horsewoman, but had made the effort because of him. Thomas the stable boy was not, strictly speaking, a boy. At 22, he was marked with the attributes of maleness and beauty that were worthy of an Adonis. His muscular forearms and chiseled torso glowed in sun-browned competence. Once she had seen him swimming on a hot summer afternoon, having taken a wrong turn in the grounds of the estate. She had watched longingly his naked body as it basked in sun and water in a simple celebration of movement, nakedness, and life itself. One did not normally encounter such thrilling attributes at London soirees. Isolde had had enough of potbellies and bad breath to last a lifetime. Thomas had flicked a switch, and she understood passion and desire at last. "Morning, my lady," he said with a sideways smile. He had seen her watching him, but hadn't let on. He enjoyed being watched by a beautiful and socially untouchable woman. "Careful of your shoes in here," he murmured. "Floors still damp from the morning's rain." "I have other shoes," she said lightly. "I do not have another of you." He turned at that, startled into a grin. The horses snorted softly in their stalls, as if deeply invested in the developments of the afternoon. She watched Thomas hang up a bridle, his shirt sleeves rolled, hay dust caught in dark, unkempt hair. On the workbench beside him lay a scrap of parchment, ink still glistening in a ray of sun. "What are you sketching?" she asked. He moved too quickly, trying to cover it with his hand. "Nothing, just notes." Her curiosity sharpened. "Do you truly think I shall faint at your notes?" Slowly, he lifted his hand. It was a map. Not of any gentleman's lands she recognized, but of the estate grounds as only someone who lived amongst them would see. Hidden footpaths, fallen walls, the place where the river narrowed, and in one corner, a small cross inked with unusual care. "What is this?" she asked, fingertip hovering over the cross. He swallowed. "That, my lady, is where the fence breaks. Should someone wish for freedom and adventure, they could slip out unseen." His eyes flicked up, testing her. Isolde felt a slow, wicked warmth pour through her. "And if I were the sort—" He hesitated, then stepped closer, voice low. They were almost touching. A separation of propriety was paper-thin. She could feel his breath now, almost panting, on her cheek, as he looked down upon her, making love to her with his wanton gaze. "Then I'd meet you there, at dusk, with a lamp and 2 sound horses, and I'd show you the rest of the map." She looked back down at the parchment. Beyond the fence, he'd drawn all the places a lady of her station was not supposed to know existed: the ruined folly, the secluded glade, a little scribbled note by the river bend that simply read, "Perfect for swimming." "You've quite the talent for cartography," she murmured. "I know these grounds better than the Lord himself," he said. "Been escaping them since I was a lad." "And now you offer escape to me." She met his gaze fully. "Why?" His jaw tightened. "Because I've watched you walk that terrace every day like a bird pretending its cage is a choice. And because," here his voice dipped, "I'd like to see what you're like when nobody else is watching." There it was. The treasonous invitation she hadn't known she'd been waiting for. Isolde folded the map carefully, tucking it into the bodice of her gown with deliberate slowness. "At dusk, then," she said, "if you're brave enough to free a caged bird." As she turned to go, he added, "Follow the map exactly. And if you get lost—" "I shall call your name," she cut in, glancing over her shoulder, "and trust that you will find me." The horses snorted again, as if in approval of the clandestine plot. That evening, when the sky went molten gold over the fields, a figure in a dark riding cloak slipped through the broken fence and found a lantern already waiting on the other side. Thomas lifted it, the light catching his smile. "Welcome to the rest of the map, my lady," he said. "Shall we redraw your borders tonight?" She held out her gloved hand. "For 30 years," she replied. "Men have told me where I may and may not go. I think it's time someone let me choose my own routes." He took her hand, steady and sure. Behind them, the great house loomed, full of strict corridors and polite rooms. Before them, the night opened like a secret promise, and the Countess Ravenshaw stepped into it with the stable boy at her side, following a map she now realized she'd been searching for all her life. Finally, happiness and thrill would collide in the bodies of those who dared.